What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. So today it's time for a watch versus watch. Now guys, on this channel I've compared the Hamilton Khaki Field watch to numerous other watches, but I don't know what it is. You guys just aren't satisfied. You're sick. You want me to put this watch up against anything and everything, and I'm happy to do it. So nonstop in the comment section, people want me to compare the Hamilton Khaki Field watch to the Alpinist. It's 5:24 p.m. Let's get down to business. Okie dokie guys, this episode may just tear me apart because these watches are both near and dear to my heart. I love them so much, but if it's a comparison you want, a comparison you will get. So let's go ahead and start with a quick rundown of the Hamilton Khaki Field mechanical 38mm, and then we'll see how it stacks up against the Alpinist. So for my longtime viewers, you all should be very familiar with this watch by now. I mention it all the time because I truly love it. 38mm around, only 9.5mm thick, and it's powered by an ETA 2801 two-hand wind movement, and it's sweeping very smoothly at 28,800 BPH. Again, look at how beautiful that second hand sweeps. Let's see, you're getting some patinated loom. People either love it or they hate it. It's got a sapphire crystal playing with the light there. Now, one thing we really need to pay attention to is the fact that this watch has a 50-meter water resistance rating, and that stat definitely comes into play, especially when we're considering the competitor, the Alpinist. Now, okay, how does this Hamilton wear on the wrist? Well, in my opinion, it kind of doesn't wear on the wrist. And what I mean by that is you kind of don't feel like you're wearing anything at all, right? For a bigger dude like me, 7.5-inch wrists, this thing's only 9.5mm thick. You kind of don't feel it on your wrist, but that's kind of a good thing, and that's very much an attribute of a classic field watch, right? It's supposed to lay flat, out of the way, not get hung up on anything, so I really do like that. And another thing I really like is the vintage, historical, somewhat rustic aesthetic. You know, the matte dial with those indexes that are kind of painted on and those patinated hands. And again, those patinated hands, gonna be kind of a sticking point for some people. You either love it or you hate it, but what I will say is the lume on this watch still shines very brightly. Now, from a usability standpoint, this watch is just a breeze to wind up. And the good thing is that this watch retains a wind stop function. So you're not gonna overwind this thing, you're not gonna mess anything up. It's gonna let you know, okay buddy, you're done, you don't need to wind me up anymore, we're good to go. So guys, all in all, the Hamilton Khaki Field watch is pretty much exactly what you think of when you're thinking of a field watch. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer. This is the quintessential field watch. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, I personally think very highly of this little hammy, but the time has come. How does this thing stack up to the SARB017 Alpinist? All right, here before us is the Seiko SARB017 Alpinist, the green dial. Of course, there are a few different variants floating around out there. Earlier this year, the blue dial Alpinist made some controversy, and if you want to watch an episode of me unboxing one, you can click around here. But yeah, this green dial, this is pretty much what I think of when I think of an Alpinist. So it is a field watch. It's also a field watch, but it's kind of a different take on a field watch. Okie dokie, so the SARB017 is listed at 38mm around, but it measures in closer to 39mm, and guys, this case wears so similarly to a Rolex Oyster case, it's not even funny. And if any of us know anything about Oyster cases, it's that they wear much bigger than they list on paper. Okay, so it's about 12mm thick. You're getting a 23 joule automatic movement that has hacking and hand wind, excuse me. You're getting a 200-meter water resistance rating with a threaded crown, and you're getting a secondary crown that actuates an internal rotating compass. If you want to learn how to use that, you can click on the video up here. You're getting very vibrant Seiko Lumibrite Loom and a sapphire crystal. Just look at that gorgeous green dial. Anyway, okay, how does this baby wear? Well, it's not at all clunky, but it definitely feels much more substantial than that little Hamilton. You know, the Hamilton is only 9.5mm thick, this Alpinist is 12mm thick, and this Alpinist is also an automatic movement with a few other bells and whistles that the Hamilton does not have. And you'll probably find yourself looking at this watch more when it's on your wrist than you would the Hamilton. and it's probably because, you know, this thing just plays with the light differently. There's a lot more doodads. You're getting a very nice polished case. You're getting, of course, the gold indexes and the green starburst dial. People, you either love that or you hate that. And guys, the dial is much more versatile than you give it credit for. Believe me, I think people are just overthinking it. And again, speaking of catching light, this watch is sharp where it needs to be, and it's smooth where it needs to be. This thing is just an absolute looker. All right, well, the time has come to put these two literally next to each other and try to tackle the question, which one is better? Well, here's how we're gonna go about this. Okay, the Alpinist, much more versatile, much more dressy. Again, that green dial is much more versatile than people give it credit for. I think you can wear the Alpinist with a suit and tie or jeans and a flannel and it'll just work. Also, the Alpinist works on a multitude of straps and bracelets, whereas the Hammy doesn't work on any bracelets that I know of. Not this variant, anyway. Now, on the flip side of that, though, the Hamilton is much more subdued, so if you're looking for just kind of a bare bones classic field watch, then definitely pick the Hamilton over the Alpinist. Now, from like a toughness standpoint, they both have shock resistance, right? This Seiko has Dia-Shock, it's an automatic, but it's fairly resilient. And now the Hamilton has a hand wind movement with not a lot of bells and whistles, excuse me. So again, you can give this one a good knock and just nothing will happen. And they both have sapphire crystals. But to be totally honest, I think you're gonna feel more confident wearing the Seiko, okay, the Alpinist, and here's why. Okay, I wish the Hamilton had a threaded crown. If the Hamilton had a threaded crown, I would be choosing the Hamilton all day long. I love that vintage, rustic, military aesthetic. I love that it's just the field watch lover's field watch, right? But it doesn't have a threaded crown, so I don't take it into as many situations as I would my Alpinist. And again, it pains me to say that, but I wish the Hamilton had a threaded crown. And again, this 200 meter water resistance rating with the threaded crown that the Alpinist comes with, it's amazing. It just gives you all the confidence you need. And again, oh my God, you're not a diver, you're not gonna go down 200 meters. Okay, well, that threaded crown with that added water resistance rating, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable getting it wet. And again, that's just important to me, especially when it comes to a watch that you're gonna take into certain situations where it's gonna get messy, it's gonna get dirty, it's gonna potentially get wet, right? These are field watches. You want it to be totally resilient. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is the Loom. They both have pretty good Loom. I think the patinated hands still shine very, very brightly. Of course, Seiko's Lumibright Loom shines like a freaking lighthouse, like a fireball. I don't hold that against the Hamilton though, because Seiko's proprietary Lumibright Loom, it's just crazy. So in conclusion, okay, we have two amazing field watches here, two very well-loved field watches, kind of a cult following on both sides here. People absolutely love the Hamiltons, people absolutely love the Alpinists, excuse me. But if I needed a field watch to wear during a rugged hike or a prolonged outing, like maybe an overlanding trip in my Rubicon, or maybe, you know, Connie and I are going camping, if I needed a truly tough field watch that I could bang around and not worry about at all, which one of these would I choose? The Seiko Alpinist or the Hamilton Khaki field watch? I'd go with the Boulder Expedition, but that's totally different can of worms. No, but guys, all jokes aside, you cannot go wrong with any of the field watches you see here today. The Alpinist is absolutely gorgeous. The Boulder Expedition is just ridiculously tough. And you just cannot go wrong with a Hamilton Khaki field watch on your wrist. Again, the Hammy is the field watch lover's field watch. But guys, if this episode helped you out, if it steered you in the right direction, if it gave you some added information, then please consider liking this episode, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you do not miss out on any of my uploads. I upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with a live stream Q&A every single Saturday, rain or shine, so that bell icon lets you get notified so you do not miss out. Now, if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, then you can shop at my Amazon store, link in the description description below, or you can go to www.thetimetellershop.com, my brand new website. You do not want to miss out on the stuff I add there. We sold out within 8 hours of the initial launch, and every time I add new products, they get scooped up immediately. So please, guys, don't sleep on that website, because a lot of cool stuff going on over there. But anyway, guys, I really enjoyed making this episode. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time, I just tell it. Real quick, if you enjoyed this episode, then do not worry, the fun doesn't need to stop here. Check out these recommended episodes that are going to be popping up on the screen anytime now. Also, take a moment, check out my brand new channel, the Time Away channel. It's where I talk about everything outside of the watch world, some of my other collections, some of my other hobbies. And if you're not interested in any of that, don't worry, just stay right here and I will see you right here. Because I never leave. I am trapped inside of this camera.